my uh, my ability to focus has been yeah, I've teared it down to shite. I've just been on YouTube for so many hours, just consuming content of like the inside the NBA stuff and the women doing fitness stuff, girls doing fitness as well. And although this sort of content I don't completely mind watching, I'd rather not watch the inside the NBA stuff because I know it's not really helping me at all. Whereas the health stuff, yeah, that's pretty cool. Give you some ideas with what I could do for training, for example. And I literally have just been consuming content. But I do know one thing, it's adding to depression. It must be. I mean, I need to spend a lot more time actually solving this score. I don't want to say I have depression. I don't believe I do. I believe it's more than okay to feel frustrated at times, to feel down at times. But I do know one thing, these scores, in my mind I'm thinking of saying that they're unacceptable. They must be lowered. My scores must be lowered. And it's only me that can do that. What I'm doing is meaning that I've thought the thoughts to be able to create that score. I know off the top that there are many things that I could do to help myself out, but I want to make a long-term change rather than just something that's immediate. Even if that means there are short-term expenses, and the short term, even if there are short-term expenses of feeling frustrated, that I'm not seeing an immediate change for a few days. Maybe what I have to do is look at all of my serious videos, listen to quite a few of them, and combine all of the advice that I've given to myself in the serious videos and put it together, and keep on applying all of those different sorts of different pieces of advice I've given myself to be able to move forward. I.e., the half-day no screens thing, that could help. I know I have a depression score test that I've privately uploaded, which I could look back at and compare that score to this one. It was one that I did a few months ago. It's privately uploaded from my memory. We'll see how it goes. I'm not eating the healthiest. I might not eat for quite a while in the morning until I really want to go out and train. I go outside, I train, I make the videos, and then I come back and just underachieve for the rest of the day. Not only that, but my bed's caved in. No money's coming in. No, I don't pay rent, and I do have the maintenance loan, student loan, to pay for expenses, like shopping, for example. But that's just not enough. My mental health isn't the worst it could be, but it's not the best it could be, in my opinion, either. I don't like where it's at, and it's up to me to do what it takes to further improve it. I mean, I'm feeling hungry right now, and I'm feeling thirsty right now as I make this, but not as thirsty as I felt whilst making videos, even recently. I think maybe last night, maybe, for example. I like the fact that I've started to change what I watch. So that's gonna help. From very young, I've I've been wanting to do things rather than really doing them. As a kid, I was obviously feeling very happy about life. And then during my adolescence, things changed. I made my adolescence a lot harder than it had to be. Yeah, I'm not completely to blame in my opinion. I really do believe that the environment was toxic, partly out of my control. I think I just added to it. Monkey see, monkey do. Of course, up to a certain age, you must take accountability for your actions, but when you're very young, like single digits and a very young teen, you don't know any better unless people have told you better. Perhaps. Maybe you're smart enough to know better. Smart in real life, not necessarily smart in academics. Or you at least know enough to not make things as hard as you know to improve your situation and not make life as hard as you have been making it, for example. You may figure that out at a very young age, and if you do, all the power to you. I was gonna say, but me, I haven't. I disagree. I have to undo that way of thinking because, well, I don't have to, but I want to, because I have my whole life ahead of me. I have many years in the tank. Life has barely started. And the scores aren't through the roof. They absolutely aren't anywhere near what I'd like them to be. But they aren't. Like 2021, for example. Luke Spurgeon's score that he put up on the video where he was talking about mental health for men, his score was depression 2 out of 21 and anxiety 0 out of 21. Me digesting this information and comparing my score to his is potentially a part of the reason why, or part of the way how I've put myself in the position I'm in today. I think the way how I really make serious progress in living the life I truthfully want to live and being in a completely ideal position, I can just focus on lowering my depression score. I've been playing Charles Barkley Sharpen Jam 2 from some website, and in the game I was thinking about how I could improve, and I found out a way how to block. It may look stupid in game, but it works. Not only that, but I've found tactics as to how to win my games, and that sort of mindset I can take into lowering my depression score. I can literally just use every single day to work on lowering my depression score. I know ideally what I'd truthfully like to do, and perhaps I need to reconnect with my long-term vision in all avenues. I want to keep moving forward, and I was going to say I don't want to, so I'm not going to speak about what I've set myself to do, but it really may help, because me doing that would mean that I could potentially further understand why I want to do what I want to do. So I want to learn. At this point in time in my life, I'm interested in learning what a PT has to know, becoming the safest and smoothest driver I can be, and improving my finances through improving my financial literacy. In my head, I'm thinking of saying the money's low. It's not that. There's a large chunk of the maintenance loan left. 4 figures. However, no money's coming in. I felt uncomfortable saying the four figures thing, but this is my truth, and I need to do something different, and that is something different. In order to improve my situation, I must show honesty. I must be open, not necessarily with other people, but with myself. That's that's something that I want to talk about. Mum and dad, mum more than my dad, has asked me how has the PT course been going, and I say okay. How's the drive with my driving instructor? Okay. I say okay a lot, and I don't open myself up to my parents. I have much more open conversations with a family friend than my own parents. Because I prefer the mindset that my family friend is in and what this family friend is doing with their life rather than my parents. Some people may think that's unfortunate to say, as that person's a family friend and they're my parents, but I don't want to be I don't want to be like my parents at all. I want to say in every aspect. They don't smoke or drink, no, nor do I, and that's something I do want to keep. I could think of, maybe I'd try it out just to see what it's like to have my own experiences, to not do it again, but there's no need. It's been scientifically proven that they are not healthy for you. It's not worth it. It's not even worth peer pressuring myself into trying them to have experiences to not try them again, or to quote unquote undo conditioning. Apologies, I just yawned. And again. Okay, so yeah, no money's coming in, but I'm improving how valuable I am to people by learning the PT course, the gym instructor course, and passing it, and then eventually be working as a quote unquote working as a gym instructor. So it's not like I'm doing nothing to improve the value I have. Yeah, sure, I may not be learning as much as I want to, but I've been on it today. I've been and looked on the laptop and looked a bit at the content today, and that's a start. Improving my financial literacy I haven't done really at all. I looked at the side hustle book that I bought a long while ago when I was in uni, but that was like a few days ago. Maybe that could help. Going to nature and laying down, I felt a lot more at peace than I usually would. So I think that's going to help big time as well. But I think perhaps one of my major downfalls at this point in time is trying to do everything at once. Of course, not everything, that's me just exaggerating, but me trying to take on too much, a lot more than I can chew, biting off a lot more than I can chew, trying to improve a lot more than I can handle at one time. I really want to just do what it takes to live the life I truthfully want to live. I don't even know what that looks like. And I'm not going to set expectations on it. I just want it to become better than I ever could have expected. A lot more fun than I ever could have expected. Eventually I'll be flying planes, helicopters, skydiving, pushing new boundaries, just being able to, just having complete control of the mind and body, and travelling the world. I had a sheltered childhood, I didn't go out much. That'd be a lot of fun. But there's no way in hell I want to be able to do that with these scores. I think my scores will immediately improve when money's coming in consistently, because it's obvious from not only this score but the last score I took. I remember it talking about financial worries. I have earned money, has come in the past. I would say I earned money because I had to work for it. That wasn't really all that fun. That was just working on improving through increasing something. Actually, no. I've spoken about the fact that I was in a customer service role. I was a customer service advisor, and the way how I thought I could improve is not improving, but increasing the amount of calls I could make and the amount of emails I could send. What did I do? What was it about? That's none of your business. That is way too much to be putting out there on the internet. So I absolutely can't say everything. There is a fine line. There are boundaries to this thing. But yeah, I'd say in that case I actually really did earn money, because that was a lot more like work than something that was really fun. I noticed during those times there that compared to other people in terms of numbers, I was really slow. I was feeling very stressed as well at times. There was one time in the evening I came back home, I was scratching my head throughout work, and I was just, I just wanted to go to the punching bag, and the thoughts I was thinking were just about me feeling stressed out, and that compounded. I was basically asking for it. I remember watching some YouTube videos and these people saying something along the lines of, that is similar to a prayer. You're asking for it. It's something you're asking for. It reminds me of Jeff Logan in a video in particular. Maybe take control of your mind. I may be wrong, and I know he didn't say it like that, like using the exact wording that I used. That was just my interpretation of it, which could be completely false. But I know it wasn't what he said word for word. The anxiety score, I remember walking to the gym and there are these guys in tracksuit bottoms, which I looked away from, but I forced myself to look at them. Because I'm not going to allow myself to feel fear over anyone that's walking in the streets. I know I can protect myself, and that's more than enough. Those guys absolutely stunk, reeked of weed, reeked of cannabis as I was walking. That's the only thing that I can really remember as, what else? I don't know what else could be meaning that I'd feel slightly anxious. I know that when thinking thoughts that in my head I'd cringe about, I may clench my hand and my nails because I haven't cut them, because I can't find either of my nail clippers. It'd sometimes dig into my skin unintentionally, but I know I'd cringe. I'd physically cringe and like clench my fist and or clench my teeth. There's some videos that some parts of videos that I just will not watch, regardless of how much they are, regardless of what they're about. If I think that it's going to be embarrassing, it reminds me of Kobe being on Shaqtin' a Fool, which is short for Shaq, as in Shaquille O'Neal, acting a fool. And I just will not watch what happened after him trying to do whatever he was doing. It's like I just will not watch it. Because it's like because for whatever reason, I may see it as embarrassing. And because I've practiced that behaviour to skip past, to go onto a different video when experiencing any form of discomfort, that habit is practiced over and over again. It reminds me of Therapy in a Nutshell's idea of anxiety being like a toddler. If you listen, then you'll show that is how you can get that's how the toddler gets attention from you. But if you stop listening to it, crying, for example, then the toddler will act in a way you'd like it to act. Which could be true. I may force myself to watch that thing in its entirety. It's literally just a short. It's a short, but I just wouldn't watch it. I think I'm going to watch it now to just be able to work through that thing. I don't know what it is, but I want to talk about not only the anxiety score further, but also the depression test after I've done it. This has all been filmed in one take, but after this, it's going to be take 2, the second voiceover. I made myself watch the clip, and it's not even that bad. It honestly isn't even that bad at all. Kobe, rest in peace, he just made himself look like an idiot, and just got cocky, and fair enough. I mean, in 2006, he did just score 81 points in an entire match. Like, he'd been doing it, and he really developed his skills, so he probably just got complacent that way. Yeah, he did try and get out of it, and almost did get out of getting double teamed, but it really wasn't as awful or fear-inducing as I made it seem to be. It's just a state of the mind, really. Any sort of fear that we experience, it's a state of the mind. It's in thoughts. But I can understand why I'd think this way, because of the skate park situation and that I talk about in day 80 and day 90, for example. I may have built habits around that event that mean that I did this now, where I made myself click off on that video and not watch the whole thing because I literally cringe so much that I would cringe so much mentally that I wouldn't watch. I'd back out of watching a video. Watching a video, come on, man. But this is the truth. My truth, my perception of the truth. Not necessarily the truth, but my perception of the truth. I don't know what else, other than sometimes walking around and feeling fear, which is something I've worked through, and it's basically completely gone now. I mean, changes aren't going to happen immediately overnight after that skate park situation, so you just got to take time. And it's gone away significantly. Now I just need even more time for it to completely go away in terms of how I go about my day. I don't think there's anything else causing nervousness. I think of anxiety as nervousness. I don't have very clear definitions in my head as to what anxiety is and what depression is. I was thinking about it as I was in the kitchen cooking. I wasn't cooking. I put some two slices of toast in the toaster, a bagel, and I put some spread some butter on both of them, and I had some thick chicken slices and chicken chunks for the bread, and then for the toast, and then for the bagel I put chicken slices in only. I put chicken slices in the toast, but that was just a little bit so that it filled out the extra parts that the chicken chunks didn't. It's a part of what I want to talk about. Actually, I think I've thought of depression as feeling down and hopeless, whereas feeling frustrated is, in my opinion, after just thinking about it very shallowly, it's feeling down but pushing through that feeling, just like how I have done with the L-sits, for example. I can't really say. I certainly feel down about how little I've been doing with these things that I've spoken about that I truthfully want to do, such as learning what a PT has to know, becoming the safest and smoothest driver I can be, and improving my financial literacy. I certainly do feel down when I think about those things, but I know that there's got to be a mindset change in order for me to actually do those things. There's got to be mindset changes and habit changes, but they're not going to come overnight, which short term is the frustrating part, but long term, that's what allows change sustainably. I know I am changing, I am improving, my habits are improving, my mindset's improving as the days go by, but it's not every single change has happened. I can't just, for example, leave the house and have millions in the bank, hundreds of millions in the bank, and then I can just rent out whichever place I want, and then completely buy a house, so on and so forth. I can't just do that because I haven't done what it takes to be in that position. There's just a lot I haven't done yet. There's a lot I have done, but there's also a lot I haven't done. And throughout the days, I focus, for example, on not doing the things that I wanted to truthfully do off camera. I don't really focus on what's gone well. I know that focusing on what's going well works with my driving. It encourages that. Me doing that means that I encourage myself to further do those things. Not further work on. Me thinking about what I do well just seems to mean that I create a breeding ground for more of those things that I consider is something that I've done well. And I don't do that with in my daily life. I don't do that. I think also, actually no, before going to what I was going to say, why don't I think I do that? I know I don't, but why? I mean, I haven't really thought about using tactics that work with driving. I have with the basketball shut up and jam game, but with driving, no, not recently. I have in the far past, like last year, but not recently. Again, I think one of my downsides at this point in time could be wanting to improve too many things at once. I really do want to have an amazing life, but it's tough to have a low depression score when there's no money coming in your age 20. People are already world-class NBA athletes at this point. People are already world-class footballers. People are already at an Olympic standard at this age, and even younger. But here I am, living, not even paying rent. My parents are paying rent, and all the stuff that I pay for, I'm using the maintenance loan that I had left over. it seems like that could be like the main downside in my mindset, which means I just further breed those sorts of things. Things I consider not that things I consider that I do that no things I do that I consider aren't what I want to do. Me focusing on those things means I just create a breeding ground for me to do more of those things I quote unquote don't want to do, because those would be the things I'm focusing on. That's literally I'm basically asking for it. I'm asking to do those things really, even though rationally speaking I don't want to do them, through focusing on those things. Whereas when I'm driving and I'm focusing on what I consider me doing well, and I focus on those things over and over again, that's what creates a breeding ground for me to do more of those things. Eventually money's going to be coming in through the personal training route. Hell yeah. And I really do believe that once that happens and I really get I get the qualifications that I don't even need, the qualifications I want to get. In terms of thinking about what I believe I'm doing well, I could focus on the fact that I made a 22-minute take and then a 9-minute 12-second take. And now I'm making this take. This is the third clip that I've made. Even though, yeah, there have been times in between clips, long periods of time when I've been on YouTube, but when I've been consuming YouTube content excessively. However, I'm just working through my life. I mean, my bed's caved in, for goodness sake. I can sleep on my sister's mattress because that one's not caved in, but even still, I don't want to be in this life position anymore. And in order for me to get out of this, I have to change my actions and my mindset, which is something that I'm doing every day. But man, it's taking time. It's taking a very long time, but I will tell you what, when I move out, everything's going to be established, solid, built. I'll be more than okay. I won't be just surviving. I won't just be getting by. I'll be more than stable. I'll be loving life, living it to the fullest, feeling comfortable in my own skin. I don't feel insecure about how I look physically in terms of like my face and in terms of how my face looks. However, my physique isn't where I want it to be either. However, I only started lifting inconsistently when I was 18. I'm 20 now. The progress that I'd like my arms to fill out my t-shirt. Yeah, I'd like to be bigger. I'd like to be flexible, strong, and big. And also agile and fast. Yeah, I may not be completely there, however. I'm only 20 years old. There's no way I'm going to be able to reach my peak at 20 years old. First Man talks about men reaching their peak at 35. And I'm only 20. But again, it comes to that thing of slowing down, not feeling unhappy with being unable to make significant progress in improving every aspect of my life at the same time. It comes in small changes, and eventually all of the habits that you need in order to live the life that you truthfully want to live, they'll come over time, over months and years. Just like how all the unhealthy habits built over years, they being the habits that you want to build, they come over years too. Some people are very fortunate and they have parents which really guide them and lead them to being healthy, responsible, and mature people, physically, mentally, socially, and so on. But not everyone has that privilege. There are some mothers that can't be around. There are some dads that can't be around. So there are some parents that just don't want to be around. When I say can't be around, I mean, for example, they're extremely ill or they're dead. I was thinking parents may not be able to be around because they're dead. Some people just don't have it as smoothly as other people do. Somebody's upbringing can be rough for reasons out of their control. I want to talk about the depression being 13 out of 21. Man, it's about my life situation. Again, my bed's caved in. No money's coming in, but I'm on the way to changing that. I've just got to hang in there. What else? I mean, quite a lot of the time I wear hand-me-downs and clothes that I haven't bought when I don't want that to be the case anymore. I don't want to live with my parents anymore. I want my own space. Maybe I'd also like more people behind me. I just want to be able to do whatever I choose to do, have complete control of the mind and body, and also just be a healthy person all round, physically, mentally, socially, and a person that's growing, a person that's learning from both experiences they want to have and experiences which they don't want to have. Ideally, we live a life where we only have experiences we want to have, but that's just not how life works. So the most I can really say is we at least learn from the experiences we don't want to have. Well, we didn't want to have anyway. Because they can be very helpful and serve us for next time if something similar to that event were to happen. Again, I can focus on the fact that I'm making this voiceover and I'm not hiding from it. Another thing that may add to my depression score is that I know, again, there are some things which I really want to do, which I haven't yet done. I want to pass my driving test. I want money to be coming in, and I want my physique to improve. I want my health to improve. I don't want there being so many precursors for unhealthy meals. I don't want to be seeing that food. I don't want to be smelling that food. I want to be eating food that makes me feel energetic, that makes me feel amazing, makes me feel how I want to feel. And I've been thinking maybe it's time to set myself a challenge where a non-negotiable rule, in fact, where I only eat foods that make me feel how I want to feel. A lot of the diet, the crap, the sandwiches, the Werthers that I've had, the chocolates, the wafer thin bars, all of these things, they'd be wiped out of existence if I were forced to eat foods that only made me feel how I want to feel. They'd be wiped out of existence. Businesses would be pummeled. They'd come crashing down, trust me. I want to be eating more veggies. I want to be eating a lot more plant-based. All of these things, they're coming in time, but just short term is very frustrating not being where I want to be. Not so frustrating, I feel tears about to come down my face, but it is frustrating. I feel, yeah, I'd really believe that. I feel down. I'd feel down about it, but this is sort of down that I'm pushing through. Just like with the LSITs, it's not a down, a sort of down feeling in which I feel hopeless. No, this is my life that we're talking about here, and yeah, I may have many unhealthy habits like eating like crap, making impulsive decision, making impulsive food choices, i.e., eating those sandwiches, all of that chicken slices which is so high in sodium is so salty. Going to the house, leaving the house hungry. All of these things. Going on YouTube and consuming content excessively. All of these things, they're things I don't want to do, but I have been doing, and it seems like they've been adding to the depression score. And we're actually going to find out what my past depression score was and see how far I've progressed, and also when I took the depression score. I didn't find them. I didn't. That said, I didn't really look that hard. I just was scrolling. I couldn't see it. I typed up certain letters like mental health or mental health quiz score test. Couldn't find it. I just could not find it when going into YouTube Studio. So I haven't been able to find the scores when I took them, unfortunately. But they were mid. Really, I think the anxiety was lower than the depression, just like this time. But I may need to consistently take these tests like once every week or so. I could make it a part of. Damn, that's a solid idea, you know. I could make it a part of the weekly review, the weekly picture review, where I don't just review my physique, but I review my health. Fuck, that's an amazing idea. That is an amazing idea. Holy shit. Wow, oh wow. Wow. Instead of calling them weekly picture reviews, I could start calling them weekly health reviews. Where I can, where I not only talk about my physique and where I'm at physically, but also talk about where I'm at mentally. How have I never come up with this? How have I never thought of that? I have no idea how I've never thought of that. If you review your physical health, it only makes sense that you review your mental health too. How have I never... whatever, man. Thinking about this, it's not going to help. It's not going to change the situation. I just found one word that's original on my mat. I took it with me, but I think what happened was it fell out my left pocket. I took 3 with me upstairs, but I didn't eat the last one, so it's just been on the mat. I put it on the mattress. I can't even see it because I'm lying down on my sister's mat. I'm not going to eat that though, because I'm now starting to focus on me recording this voiceover and telling myself that this is something that I consider that I'm doing well. I could have gone back onto YouTube and consumed again, but I thought, nah, if I want to do that, I'll leave it later. I'll just leave it later, I said. So, okay, it seems like that works. I'll just keep on doing that over and over and over again, and maybe everything else will follow suit. I know that with money, in order to make more money, in order for money to come in and to have larger cash flows where more money's coming in, you don't, what I believe at least, you don't focus on wanting to increase how much you make directly, but indirectly by improving how valuable you are to other people. More people have to see value in you and larger amounts of value in you per individual in order for more money to come in through you showing that you're more valuable and therefore charging higher prices monetarily so that you get what you're worth or at least get what you believe you're worth from a monetary standpoint. And I'm improving how valuable I am to other people through taking the gym instructor course. That's what I'm doing. I'll take that. I plan to take the dietitian courses as well, and yoga instructor courses as time goes on. So that's for me more than anything, to help me with my calisthenics and to help me with nutrition and that, and to have a much larger wealth of knowledge related to what I actually like and enjoy, and what is valuable to other people. Health will forever be valuable, regardless of how much certain people neglect it, regardless of how much or how little people neglect it. Health is valuable to everyone. It's just that some people don't take care of their health, and then they leave it last minute, right until their final moments, just before they pass away, before they think, maybe I should have listened to the signs. By that point, it's too late, of course. Or maybe it isn't. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot to think about. I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this, I want to do that. I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this, I want to do that. I want to do this, I want to do that. And even though my plans are a lot less, as in I want to do much fewer things than I did in the past, it doesn't matter really. It seems like what I'm going to have to do is just literally focus on one thing off camera. And then when I get very consistent with that, I could then move on to improving other, adding more stuff, such as improving my finances and becoming the safest and smoothest driver I can become. But for now, I think what I could start off is really focusing on what I'm doing well, and make that a non-negotiable rule to focus on what I do well. I think that's an amazing idea I've just come up with, to not only review the physical side of my health, but also review the mental side of my health by taking the tests on the depression tests on a weekly basis. I'm actually going to make a notice before this video comes out, after I've made this part of the voiceover. I might call it WPR, weekly picture review, and WHR, weekly health review, or I may change the name to WHR, as in weekly health review. Yeah, I'm gonna do that now and make the notice. I'll stop this clip now. Okay, I've done it, and after doing these weekly health reviews where I focus on my mental health along with my physical health, I think things are going to change drastically, along with purposefully focusing on what I believe I'm doing well, along with what I can improve on. That genuinely could be a part of what I do, me doing what it takes. No, that could be a part of what it takes for me to really take things to the next level and further grow, and set the breeding grounds for even more growth. There's just a lot to unpack, and a lot I want to become, and if I'm not careful, just like how I genuinely could have been doing, I could be focusing on wanting to improve so many things at the same time, and it's just not working. Trying to get to the end result right now, right this instant, wanting the end result right this instant, that could be a part of me having a much higher than wanted depression score. But in the words of Redefining Strength, anything you measure you can manage. Measuring my mental health through this, that's going to really help me out. Measuring it on a weekly basis, and then I can compare myself every single month and see the scores drop. It's gonna be nice. It's gonna be nice. I think I would have a lot of fun doing it. Seeing the progress. I didn't have a way. No, I didn't use any ways to really measure my progress in terms of mental health, but this is gonna be it, I think. So credit to Luke Spurgeon for this idea, because this is where I got the idea from. Even though I did take this same test a few months ago or so, I got the idea to do the mental health test today through looking at his channel and seeing his depression scores. I got to just focus on what I'm doing well, and over time all of the habits and my life situation will be what I want it to be. I just have to keep on progressing and push past the frustration, because there's reward and freedom and greatness on the other side. Freedom as in me being in a life position I really want to be in, and me just loving life, doing whatever I want, whenever I want. Hell yeah, that's what I'm looking for. I'm not quite there yet, but I'm on the way there. I really am on the way there. I'm on the way to becoming an amazing man. A man that I want to be, and a man that's suitable to be dated. A man that's loved by friends and family and the partners. My partners. I'm single right now. I don't have any partners, but over time it will happen. Eventually, you just gotta keep on really just enjoying myself and socializing. That's what I want to do. I genuinely am focusing on socializing, not because I want to have sex, but because I want to talk to more people. That's it. I want to talk to more people and learn from people. Doesn't matter who they are. Woman or man, doesn't matter. But yeah, I'll leave it at that for now. Very basically, there's a whole lot that needs to be changed, but over time it's on the way to happening. It's just that I'm not at the end result right now, and I don't really think about it in that way. I'm not at my ideal life position right now, right this instant. And it's not going to come overnight, but I don't think about it in that way, really. But I want to make focusing on my mental health a priority through taking weekly depression test scores and just focusing on lowering my depression scores. That's what I'll do for now, and then I think that, along with focusing on what I'm doing well, along with what I can improve on, that's going to be the key to me having an ideal life and being in that ideal life position and being a man that maybe actually exceeds my expectations. But now that's it. I've opened my eyes a bit more. Just slowly but surely what I have to do is being unveiled, and I'm growing on this journey. That's the whole point of it being a journey. You suck to begin with, and then as time goes on, you improve and you improve. But it's a matter of improving, not getting the end result right away, not getting the end result one day after or 1 month after. For example, having a high muscle percentage and low body fat percentage in the space of 1 month due to planking for 30 days and not even changing your nutrition. That's just not going to happen. But I could be doing mentally I could have been doing the productivity equivalent of that. Wanting to be able to do so many things at once when I was barely revising for A-levels. even though I wanted to, and I had so many unhealthy habits. So many. I want to use the F word and say damn, but that's just not going to help. I'm even scratching the back of my head thinking about it. I want to clip my nails as well, but I don't know where my nail clippers are, and digging into my skin's not helping. I'm not trying to hurt myself or anything like that. It's just that my nails are sharp because they've grown. I don't want them grown. I'm literally clenching my right fist, and all of my four fingers there are digging into my palm right now because I was doing that. I've now released my hand. That it's not happening I'm not doing it anymore, but it's not happening anymore, as if someone else was doing it for me or to me, forcing me to do it. No, that's not. No, nobody's here in this room with me deciding how I do things. It's just me. The only person that's deciding is me. So I take what I said back. But yeah, making my mental health, along with my physical health, a priority genuinely could be the key to me being able to live the life I want to live in, being in the life position that I truthfully want to be in. But for now, that's it. I'll use that as the key to push through all of the frustrations and work on the things I want to work on. I don't want to be sleeping on a caved in bed anymore. I never want a caved in bed. I don't want that lower back pain. I want people behind me as well, like personal trainers, physiotherapists, therapists. I want people behind me, life mentors, friends, people that I can trust, like seriously trust, and people that trust me. Healthy, trustworthy relationships, genuine, fun, trustworthy relationships, lifelong relationships. That's what I'm looking for, socially speaking, hell yeah. And in terms of a partner or partners, depending on what I want to do, I'm looking for women that I can grow from, women I can obviously learn from, women that have it together, women that, for example, are renting a space which they want to be in, and they're just loving life like how I'm loving life, and we're growing together, and we're also growing outside of each other's presence, working on ourselves as individuals and just living the lives we want to live and being in the life position that we want to be in. Those are the sorts of women I want and that I'm looking for. Women that have their health, physical, mental and social health in check, and they just are lovely, amazing people. Beautiful women. Mentally beautiful, physically beautiful. And socially they're interesting. They have some substance to the conversation. And they're willing to have fun. Those are the sorts of women that I'm looking for. Hell yeah. And that said though, if that's something that I'm looking for, I must be able to provide the same. And I have no problem with that. If I'm expecting it from the women that I'm seeing and that I'd like to make my partners, I have no problem with providing that same thing back. None at all. I'd like women that don't throw things back in your face. Something deep that you've told them or deep things that you've told them and they try and throw it back in your face. No, I'm not looking for that sort of women. I'm looking for women that don't have resentment in them, that are willing to forgive, that are trustworthy. If you tell them something and they tell you that they won't tell anyone else, they mean it. Those sorts of things. That's a keeper right there. Someone that has their physical, social, and mental health in check. Hell yeah. No, I think there's a lot more I could probably talk about, but I'll leave it at that for now. I think if there's anything that I've learned from creating this video, it would be to not only track, to track first of all, but to track your physical health, which I have been doing, and my mental health as well. Tracking my mental health may be the key to me being able to live the life I truthfully want to lead and live. Consistency, doing this every single day, having something to show for every single day has been helping me get to this point. And that's the starting point, but I'm no longer in a place where I'm just making a start. I'm now having to build, and as another part of me being able to build, I have to make focusing on my mental health a priority and focusing on lowering the scores a priority, which I'm going to do from now on every single Friday. But yeah, hope you enjoyed, hope you learned something valuable. I certainly have, about tracking my mental health on a weekly basis and not neglecting it, not paying attention to it. I don't know how I didn't think of that before, but I'll just take that as a sign this is something that I really want to do. After a while, I think I'll make major progress. But yeah, hope you enjoyed and learned something valuable. I certainly have, and I'll see you in the next one. As the video is uploading, instead of mindlessly consuming YouTube, I may play a bit of Shut Up and Jam, play the tournaments, and maybe even write some thoughts down or something like that. But yeah, I'll also work on only thinking of doing one thing a day off camera, and then when I get very consistent with that, such as learning what PT has to know, doing that every day, I'll then add becoming the safest driver I can be and becoming the smoothest driver I can be, along with improving my finances. I'll just add everything slowly, just like how I have been. But for now, now it's time to add more, such as making the weekly picture reviews, weekly health reviews. But for now, yeah, I'll leave it at that. Hope you enjoyed and hope you learned something valuable. I certainly have. And I'm on the way to learning a lot more than what I know now, which is the whole point of the journey and growing. But yeah, I'll see you a lot later. Bye now. 13 out of 21 depression. 4 out of 21 anxiety. Let's get it to 0 and 0. And keep it within the 0 to 5 range for both depression and anxiety. The aim that I want to set from now on is to be able to keep it within the 0 to 5 range for each, for both depression and anxiety, from 0 to 5 every single week. From 0 to 5, or maybe even 0 to 3, every single week consistently. Hell yeah. I think that's solid, a solid place to aim for. So that there's so it's realistic and it's not 0-0 all the time. I'm not expecting it to be 0-0 all the time, as if me having like 1-1 is a problem. No, I think anywhere from 0 to 5 it will be okay, but ideally 0 to 3. Yeah, I'll aim in that direction, and yeah, it will come. I just have to keep on going, really.